Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Lily. I am so happy you're here with me. In today's video, I have a super fun Halloween project for you. It is so stinking cute. You are going to love it. Let me show you what we are going to DIY today. We are going to make super cute little banners that you can use in your little house envelope pockets. So stinking cute. And I'll show you where the inspiration came, but I made these super easy, so I ransacked my supplies. I have 3 storage bins, like the little 12 by 12 keepers, where I have all of the fun Halloween things that I have collected over years and years and years. And I took all of those things and I made these cute little banners, and then I adhered them to sticker paper that I save because I like to reuse for situations like this. Look at how cute these are. I am going to show you step by step how we are going to make these today. And let me show you where the inspiration came from. This is the inspiration right here. This little banner is store-bought, and I had a few of those and I started using them to decorate my little house envelope pockets. I will have a video coming up in the next couple days where I am going to work on a new version of my little house envelope pockets Halloween style. Aren't these so sticking cute? And most of the ones that I am making, and I think all of the ones that I made, I will feature a little banner like this. So these were stickers that I have had since around 2015, a long time. I was hoarding them. I love them so much, but look at how stinking cute. So I only had a few, and I wanted to be able to make my own. And so this is where I drew inspiration. Today's video, we are only going to focus on the cute little banners that you will be making to use in your future little house envelope pockets. Let me show you another one. This one features a DIY little banner, and can you see that? Oh my gosh, so cute. As soon as we go over into the crafty loft, I will show you up close what these look like side by side, the DIY one and also the inspiration one. But look at how stinking cute that is. Oh my gosh. And it is random things that I came across in my stash. Old things like old thickers, and then Halloween printed scrapbooking paper, and just a bunch of fun stuff. And then I have another one. So look at how cute that one is. Oh my gosh. So in today's video, I did not add this gold sequence here. It wasn't until after I was done, but I wanted to show you up close how cute that is. Oh my gosh, these are going to be so much fun to make. So the very first thing that you need to do is go gather all of your fun Halloween things. And if you don't have dedicated Halloween things, use whatever you have. We will make it work. And so we are focusing on banners for Halloween, but in today's video, you'll also be able to take all of those techniques and apply them to little banners for other holidays. So it's so stinking cute. Are you ready to get started? Let's go over to the crafty loft and let's get going. If you don't think that these are the cutest Halloween decorated little house envelope pockets that you've ever seen, I don't know what to tell you. But in my personal opinion, I think these turned out so stinking cute. Today's video, I am going to focus on making the little banner. However, I do have a video, I will link that for you up above, where I show you how to make these little house envelope pockets using a plain number 10 envelope. So much fun. I have been making my signature little house envelope pockets for many, many years, and this is just a different style of that, though I have made Halloween little house pockets in the past. But it is the season, it is October, and it is a perfect time for me to create these. The inspiration came from these really cute stickers that I have had for about 10 years. And don't judge me. I was hoarding them. They are so cute. I knew that I would eventually get to the point where I would make my own little tiny banners, and I didn't want to use these until I made my own little DIY ones. I wanted to keep these and save them for inspiration. This is the one that I DIY'd based on the little sticker that I have over here to my left. I think I did a pretty good job with the supplies that I already have. Step number 1, super important. You want to make sure that you shop your stash, because I know if you are a paper crafter, scrapbooker, junk journaler, I know that you have supplies. So shop your stash, which is exactly what I did. I have 3 12 by 12 craft keepers where I keep all of my Halloween things. The next step, I am going to take some strips of paper to create like the bunting, the base of my little banner. I'm going to use 2 different colors. One is slightly wider than the other. I'm going to layer them. So I'm going to have the wider one on the bottom and then the narrower one on top. The wider one measures 1.7 centimeters wide, and the smaller one is 1.3 centimeters wide. I'm working with centimeters, my friends, because I bought this super cute little ruler at Daiso, and it is in centimeters. I didn't realize it until afterwards, so we're going to use centimeters. You could see here how I have stacked those 2 little strips of paper, kind of mimicking my inspiration. Use whatever colors you want. You just want to make sure you have 2 different sizes of these little strips. I am going to use this gold poster board as the top layer. I was showing you this black one because I used that one in the previous little banner, but I decided to use some gold poster board. This is gold poster board that I pick up at the Dollar Tree. They don't always have it, but when they do, I will grab a couple of sheets and then I cut them down to a more manageable size, and then I go ham and I use it. I try to sprinkle little gold embellishments in my work. Okay, so I am trimming down 2 strips of this gold poster board, and these are going to be the smaller of the 2. So this one is measuring 1.3 centimeters wide. Whatever size you decide to cut these down to, you just want to make sure that one is a little bit larger than the other. As far as length is concerned, the larger one measures 3 centimeters in length, and the smaller one is 2.5 centimeters in length. So overall, the larger piece will measure 3 centimeters in length by 1.7 meters wide, and the smaller one will measure 2.5 centimeters in length and 1.3 centimeters width. And this is where I begin to cut the length. This one will be the smaller of the 2, and I only need 5 because I am going to spell out the word trick. So I only need 5 of these tiny little gold pieces, and I will do the same with the orange scrapbooking paper. And use all the colors or whatever colors you want. I'm using traditional Halloween colors, the orange, the purple, and the black. But I have seen some beautiful Halloween decor in pink and orange. And the pink and orange combination, they pair so well together. So you do what you love. I'm stacking the little gold pieces, and I'm going to trim the corners of only one end. So 2 corners, and this will give it more of a banner or a bunting look. I'm only going to do 2 of the little corners, and ta-da! Super easy, and it was easy to cut the little stack of 5. I will repeat this process with the orange. The orange design paper will be the bottom layer. And remember, this one measures 3 centimeters in length by 1.7 meters wide. I will cut 5 little strips and then stack them and then trim two of the little corners. It's going to look so cute. And you can spell out whatever word you want. Some of you may not do Halloween decor. You can take this technique and apply it to any holiday, any occasion that you want. In fact, I will be working on more of these DIY little house banners. And I will make some fall ones, and I will also make some Christmas ones, maybe even some winter ones. So I've got tons of ideas coming up in the next few weeks. But right now I'm going to work on the Halloween, but you can also transform these and make them a fall theme. Super, super cute. So now that I've cut all of my little pieces of paper, I will begin to layer, but I'm also going to cut out a few other embellishments. If you look at the inspiration, you can see all of the different layers. So you have the bottom layer, then you have the middle layer, and then on the very top you have like this circle, like a rosette. Or on my sample, I used a star punch. This is a really cute star punch. I picked it up at the thrift store, but I also have this other like rosette type of circular punch that I've had from Stampin' Up! For a really long time. I just want a punch out or a shape that is small enough for me to be able to layer. I'm going to use the reverse side of this scrapbooking paper. It almost looks like it's one shade of gray, but there's actually tiny, tiny little polka dot design on this scrapbooking paper. I'm going to start by cutting out the scallop circle. At this point, I still hadn't decided which shape I was going to use. I really wanted to use the scallop circle. And I'm also going to punch out 5 stars. And this is where I kind of look to see which one is going to look best. On the one that I had already made off camera, I used the star shape, and I really like how that turned out. But as I was going through my stash of punches, I came across the scallop circle, and I thought it would look really cute if I used that one. And I'm just setting them all out to try to determine which one I'm going to use. I'm sure that whichever I used would have turned out really cute. I will jump ahead and tell you that I did opt for the star because as I took the scallop circle, you could see that it is quite large, larger than I wanted it to be. I'm sure it would have looked just fine. I will save those little scallop circles and use them for a different banner. But there are so many options, so many different styles, and just use your imagination and use your supplies. I have this really cool tool. It's called a crystal katana, and it's meant for picking up little gems. It's used a lot in the nail industry for picking up the tiny little gems to embellish your fingernails. But I love it because I've used it to handle the gems in my craft projects, but it's also perfect for lifting lightweight little pieces of paper. And so this comes in really handy. Sometimes it can get kind of tricky to pick up those little papers off of your tabletop. I do have an Amazon storefront, and I will link something similar down below. So if you're interested in this tool, it comes in handy. I'm placing the star and the scallop circle over each of the little pieces to kind of see which one is going to look best. And this is where I noticed that the little scallop circles were slightly larger than what I wanted them to be, but the stars are actually perfect. I'm going to add a little dab of the ultimate glue. The gold poster board is somewhat of a slick surface. I wanted to use the ultimate glue to make sure that these little stars grab on immediately. Here I'm just giving you a close-up of the crystal katana. It has one pokey end and then another wax end to pick up your items. So this is one of my favorite tools in my craft room, and I highly recommend it. And now I'm just going to begin to layer all of the cute little stars. In just a moment, I'm going to reach over for the letters that I am going to layer on top of these stars. I went through my stash of sticker letters and I came across a sheet of thickers. Thickers are thick stickers. They do have some dimension. These are foam letters by the Thickers brand, but they were just small enough, perfect for what I have in mind. So I am going to grab the letters to spell out the word trick. These are really, really old. I've had these for a really long time. One of those impulse buys where when they first came out, I had to have them. Didn't know what I was going to use them for, but I had to have them. And now they just came in handy. Some of them were more difficult to remove, and they're not as sticky as they probably were 10 years ago when I first bought them. So I will add some ultimate glue on the reverse side to make sure that they stick onto the little banner. I placed an acrylic block over the little pieces just to make sure that they really stick to, all the layers are adhered, they stick to each other, and they dry somewhat flat. So I did leave that on there for a few minutes. I am going to use, for this one here, I'm actually using the glue stick, but up ahead, I also use the ultimate glue. And I discovered that either the glue stick or the ultimate glue worked good with these thickers because there was still a little bit of adhesive on the back of the letters. Had there not been any adhesive on the back at all, I would have probably just used the ultimate glue just to make sure that it was completely adhered. And so just stacking those, make sure you know in advance what words you are going to spell out, so you have all of the pieces ready to go. If you are not going to do like Halloween, some word ideas to make these a more fall themed Little House envelope pocket, you can spell out the word fall, F-A-L-L. You could also spell out the word autumn, and you could spell out even other words, happy, and for winter or for the holidays, joy, merry. You can come up with your own word. And here's something fun. I have made little happy birthday Little House envelope pockets. You could personalize these and do bunting in the recipient's name. As long as the name isn't too long, or else it would be tiny. But there are so many ideas when it comes to these cute little banners. So there is Trick. And I even had little scraps of this colorful twine, this baker's twine in orange. And then I have these dimensional, what are these? Dimensional stickers, not stickers, like glue dots from who knows what project. And these are going to be perfect. They are double-sided, and they're going to give the banner a little bit of height, a little bit of dimension, but it's also, because it's double-sided, it'll be able to, I can use it to adhere the baker's twine, and then I can also use it to attach it to the Little House envelope pocket. Anyway, that was a long explanation. But if you have some of these glue dots or glue squares, I think they are perfect for this project. Notice how when I placed the letters down, I am placing them down from right to left, okay? So the word trick is in reverse when you place it down. Start with the T on the right-hand side and then move across to the left-hand side. I'll have a video for you up above where I did the complete opposite. And I actually spelled trick and I turned it upside down from left to right. So then when I lifted it, the word was backwards. And oh my gosh, it was so funny. I have that shorts video. It was a video that I actually recorded to send to my sister, you know, just a little blooper video I was going to share with her. But then I thought, wouldn't this be fun for me to share it with everyone else? And so I shared it on my Instagram, and then I shared it here on my YouTube shorts. And it was just a raw behind the scenes, a blooper video of me making, you know, my little banner gone wrong. It's like a 30-second little video. Watch it. It is so funny. I was able to salvage it and reposition the letters. But you'll notice once I lift it, now your word is in the correct, the letters are in the correct order. So do you know what I mean? So I had spelled it and I had spelled out the word crit or curt. It was so funny. But ta-da! There is the first little banner. Isn't that so cute? And you can embellish as much or as little as you want. So stinking cute. I'm going to add some little gems, but here is what it would look like had I used this one here on this little house. So stinking cute. Oh, I love these so much. Working with all of the little things, you know, making little miniatures is so much fun. So many ideas to be able to work with these. If you all are familiar with the cake company called Nothing Bundt Cakes, they have the cutest birthday toppers, and one of them is bunting. And I believe it says celebrate or happy birthday. You could easily, okay, here's another idea, because you can create these just like they do as birthday cake toppers. If you take 2 skewers or 2 chopsticks and then tie the baker's twine on the chopsticks and then poke it onto your cake, you now have little bunting or little banners that you can use as birthday cake toppers. Oh my gosh. Oh, the ideas are endless. So even though I make these primarily for my junk journals, some of these can work in all kinds of other aspects of, you know, your daily living. These little gems are from 2015. I bought them on clearance at Michael's for 39 cents. This is the first time I'm using them. I'm going to move on to the next little bunting banner. I have this pendant punch stamp from Stampin' Up. It's quite old. I'm going to show you how to make this one using the punch, but also DIYing it as well if you don't have this pendant punch. Super easy. I'm going to show you both methods just to give you an idea of how easily it is to DIY it yourself. Here are some that I have already punched out. I took this is like a cream color heavy cardstock, and I'm just showing you how I am punching them out. And they're going to be layered, and I'm going to have a different color. So I'm going to use the cream color, and I'm also going to use the gold poster board. Now I'm going to show you how easily you can DIY these triangles. All you need to do is to cut out 2 different size triangles, because we're going to layer one over the other. So this is the first triangle. This is going to be the larger of the 2. I'm going to cut one, and then I'm going to use it as a template so that the others match and they are identical in size. So I'm going to take my first one, trace around it, and I'm going to spell out the word boo, B-O-O. I need 3 triangles that are the exact same size. So don't fret if you don't have a triangle punch. This is also super easy to do. And there are 3 identical sizes. And now I'm just going to trim around. Triangles can be super easy. Don't be intimidated. You can also just cut 3 triangles without tracing if you don't mind them being slightly different. I think if they vary in size, it just adds more interest to your project. It's okay if things are a little bit wonky. It just shows more DIY character. So here are the first 3. These are going to be the bottom layer. And now the next thing I'm going to do is trim the smaller of the 2 triangles. And I started doing it on the cardstock, and then I realized that I am doing the gold poster board. So I didn't realize it until I started cutting out the little triangle. But here's my little triangle. Do you see how the one is smaller than the other? And I'm just guesstimating. I didn't measure anything. I'm just kind of eyeballing it and looking to see if it's smaller than the first one. I'm tracing the 3, and as I was doing this, I realized, wait a minute. I need to be doing this on the gold poster board because I don't want tone on tone. I want the contrast of the 2 colors. But I may save these for another project. It took me a minute to actually realize that I was cutting the wrong one. I was just go, go, go. You know, once you start working on a project, it's hard to stop because you're just kind of zoned in. Believe me, I get there. And you can make these out of all kinds of different shapes. Up ahead, I am also going to do a round banner. Okay, this is where I realized that I needed to cut from the gold poster board. So, oops, I'm just going to cut out. What I should have done is taken that little one and then traced it over onto the back, but I don't realize these things until I play it back. But this will give you a really nice visual and what my thought process is behind the scenes. I will trace 3 of these little triangles. I really like the way the gold is going to pop on that little banner. And then once I cut all the 3, I will then begin to layer these. The circle ones turned out really cute too, but you could also cut some that are square. You can even, I mean, there are so many different ideas, and I am going to show, I think one of the last ones I show you, you won't have to do any cutting, you won't have to do any punching. It is going to be the easiest bunting banner out of all of them. So stick around for that one, because that last one, super easy. You're going to enjoy that one. I grabbed some distress ink, and I am going to distress the edges just so that it pops a little bit more. I rarely, these days, lately, I rarely do any of the distress around the edges. But for these, I thought it would be fitting to just distress, add a little bit of color to the edges of the little triangles, and this way it'll pop even more against that background, and it'll look a little bit more worn and weathered. And so here are the 2 side by side. So these are the scallop triangles. They are super cute. And if you have this older punch, now you have a good use for it. But if you don't, that's okay. We are paper crafters. We have scissors, we have paper, we can make it work. And so I am going to set all of these aside and get them ready so that I can begin to layer them. Using my little craft katana, as I did with the other banner, I'm just going to set them side by side and begin to stack. This is the fun part. This is the part where you can really start seeing it, seeing the little banner come to life with all of the little details. I am a maximalist at heart, and so I love all of the little details. For me, the more the better. But if you are more of a minimalist and you like things more toned down, that's okay too. You want to create things that reflect your own personal style and your personality. And mine, it's eclectic and maximalist. I put the acrylic block over the little triangles, or I will be placing it over so that, like I mentioned earlier, so they can completely grab a hold of each other, especially those two layers, and so that they somewhat dry flat. So that really helps. I'm using the Ultimate Glue. It is my favorite adhesive. My favorite adhesive. I will have it linked in the description area below. One of the reasons why I like that glue so much, it's like a super white glue because it works really well on paper, like heavier cardstocks, but it is perfect on slick surfaces as well. And it works amazing on glass, on metal, on plastic, and on acrylic. It is a super white glue, and I really, really like it. So now I'm going back to my thickers, and I am going to spell out the word boo. I'm going to do 2 of them. So I need 2 B's and I need 4 O's. Now I only have 3 little O's. But this is when you get creative and you start using numbers. I'm going to use, on the reverse, I have some numbers. So I'm going to use the zeros. So the first one will read boo, and then the second one will read bazoo, bazoo. Zoo for the Z for the zero. Bazoo, bazoo, and boo. If you don't have thickers like this, maybe you have a different type of sticker, or maybe you have dies, letter dies, where you can cut out little letters. But if you don't have any of those, you can take a Sharpie marker and you can write out the word that you want to spell out. And that is okay. I should have sampled one with a Sharpie marker just to give you an idea of what that looks like. Maybe I'll do it in one of the videos I have planned in the future where I use a Sharpie marker instead of using stickers. And I will also maybe use I think I have some letter dies that I can use as well. So I'll do a variety of styles just to give you more ideas. But I'm sure that as you're watching this, you're coming up with your own ideas. I sure hope that my videos provide you with inspiration so that you can just run with the idea and make it your own. So cute. Love how these turned out. In the beginning, in the intro of the video, I mentioned that I forgot to add the little gold sequins to the top of the bunting. If you look at the inspiration that is directly above it, where it reads boo in orange, there is gold piping, not piping. Yeah, what are those called? Oh my goodness. Is it piping? Anyway, there's like that gold trim right above the boo. And I had forgotten about that step when I was making these, but I did do it off camera. I came across some gold sequence trim that I glued on the very top, and that gave it that final detail that it needed. And at the very end of the video, I will have some pictures to show you of all of the different bunting that I used when I was making my little house envelope pockets. So a nice little slideshow at the very end. But don't jump ahead just yet because we are not done. And then flipping them over, getting ready to add the baker's twine and also the glue dots. Remember that when you flip them upside down, you are spelling it from left to right. So I have the letter B upside down from the right, and then I move over spelling out the word upside down to the left. Otherwise, you're going to spell the word oob. And that just doesn't come across the same during Halloween. These little glue squares came in handy. They were from, I've had them in my drawer for a while. When I tell you that I shopped my stash for this project, I really did. I went through all of the things. And now you have a little Boo bunting banner, so stinking cute. Yep, and I will do the same with the second one. These are the gems that I bought in 2015. Can you believe that? This is the first time I've used them. Oh my goodness. One of those things where, it's a really good deal. They were only 39 cents. And so I thought, I better get these. I might need them one day. One day, 10 years later. So there is the inspiration, so cute. That one has orange little gems, and I do have other colored gems, but I thought the purple would be perfect. Let me show you what that would look like on the little house roof. Isn't that so stinking cute? And you'll see the finished project. Once I added that gold sequence trim to it, that just finished the look. That little detail made a big difference. I love these so much. So fun. It's been a while since I've worked on Halloween projects. I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years since I did Halloween. So it's been a minute. I will link the original Halloween Little House envelope pockets. I'll have that video for you up above. I did that one, I want to say about 3 years ago. They're super cute, colorful, and whimsical little Halloween envelope pockets. That'll be a fun one to watch. I think you'll enjoy that one as well. And then at the very end of the video, I will link the playlist to the Little House envelope pocket so that you could see all the different styles of Little House envelope pockets that I have created over the years. I like to call them my signature Little House envelope pockets now. And a lot of you are calling them Lily's houses, and I think that is so cute. Thank you so much. I attached the little square a little bit too high, and so I'm just going to trim the top of that. I mean, it's showing just a little bit. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm going to trim that excess off. And now I'm going to finish that by adding a few more gems. I'm not using the crystal katana to remove these gems because they are, glue backed. These are really stuck onto that clear acetate. So I'm just using this little pokey stick to lift them and place them onto the banner. It's in the details. All of those little embellishments make a big difference. It is worth the effort to go searching for tiny little embellishments and giving your projects that extra little detail. It does make a big, big difference. I'm going to set these on this side over here to my right so that you can see how cute they are turning out. And now I'm thinking, what am I going to do now? Oh, okay. I'm going to work on this one that I started making off camera. It basically is my prototype. And again, I spelled out the word boo. This one is circular. I'll finish it off by adding the baker's twine and then the glue dots. And then I'm going to show you exactly how I made it. And I even used gauze. This is gauze that I've also had for many, many years. I don't think I've ever used gauze in my projects, but it was probably on clearance and that's why I bought it. And I'll show you what the packaging looks like in just a moment. But using it and sandwiching it between the two layers worked perfectly. Oh, here's another idea. If you don't have the glue squares, but you have this double-sided dimensional tape, you can use that as well. And you just have to manually cut your little pieces of glue. So that's just an alternative glue dot. You don't have to use a glue dot at all. You can just add a dab of some ultimate glue or some Aleene's tacky glue to the reverse, and that works just fine. I'm telling you, you have to shop your stash and use the items and supplies that you have. Make it work. And look at how cute that would look had I used that one on this little roof. So stinking cute. And because I'm using all the same colors, any one of these would have coordinated really well with any one of these little house envelope pockets. And let me show you how I made that one. I'm going to use 2 different size circle punches. This one here is 1.5 inch circle. And that's, I think, a generic brand from Hobby Lobby or Michael's, I can't remember. And then there's this one, which is a 1 inch circle by EK Success. I just need 2 different sizes. If you do not have these circular punches, you can always use a bottle cap or a milk cap as a template and then trace around it and then just fussy cut your own circles. I'm going to cut 3 of the larger ones, the 1.5 inch size, and in a coordinating color. Oh, I'm going to use gold again. I'm going to cut 3 more circles, and this is the 1 inch circle. That gold poster board comes in handy. It's one of my favorite cardstocks to use. I'm going to add a dab of the ultimate glue. And I'm going to sandwich some of that gauze between the 2 circles. And this is the gauze. It's actually Halloween gauze that I picked up at Michael's many, many, many years ago. I only need a tiny bit of it. And I'm going to cut 3 small pieces. And I will pull at it a little bit to kind of make it more tattered looking. And just make it fray a little bit more. And then I'm just going to place it over. It's okay if it's wonky. It's okay if it's folded. I want it to look a little bit messy, a little bit spooky, a little bit scary, almost mimicking maybe some, cobwebs, spider webs, things like that. I'm going to take a little bit more of the ultimate glue and I'm going to add it to the back of the smaller circle and then begin to layer these over the gauze. When I tell you tell me, doesn't this look easy? It might be a little bit tedious It might be a little bit time consuming, but it is so worth it when you see it all come together at the end. And I'm going to show you too in just a moment how I am going to store all of these little DIY sticker banners. I'm going to spell out the word boo again. I have just enough letters left, letters and numbers to spell out boo. If I didn't have any more zeros or O's, I would have probably used, for example, the letter P, the letter B, the letter A, and trimmed around it just enough to make it look like a 0 or an O. So that's another idea. I'm leaving that acrylic block on the little circles for just a moment. I'm going to add a little bit of the ultimate glue on the back of these letters. The gold poster board is a little bit slick, and I think that the ultimate glue is the better choice adhesive, just to make sure that it really sticks on. I don't want things falling apart down the road. I'm using these little like tweezers because I can't find my other tweezers, the ones that I absolutely love, the ones that took me a minute to get used to. I have no idea. There are a few things that have disappeared from my craft room, and I don't know. I don't know what's happening. How do things get lost in my space? I have no idea. I'm going to place that acrylic block back over the little rounds, just to kind of make sure that they are as flat as possible. Otherwise, they curl a little bit, not a big deal. Now I'm going to finish it off by adding more of these cute little gems. I could have used other colors, but because I already had these out, you know, just why not? Sometimes the more choices you have, the more difficult it is to make a decision when it comes to choosing colors and things. So even though I like all the little things, I try not to overwhelm myself with stuff. Flipping them upside down because I'm ready to add the baker's twine. And just remember, you need to reverse the spelling when you flip these upside down. If you are a Cricut maker, you know that you have to mirror the words. So this is basically the same thing, because the last thing you want is to be done and then you realize it's in the wrong direction. If you don't mind, please let me know in the comment section below if this is something that you will be trying out, or maybe you've already done something similar, or maybe you have come up with your own ideas on how to create this. Let me know in the comment section below. And look at how cute that looks. I even like the way this looks with those little triangles underneath. So layering even more is also fun, because I love the way that looks. So don't just stop at a couple layers. Layer, layer, layer. So cute. And now the next step, I think I get to the step. Oh, I'm going to show you. Okay, I told you I was going to show you the easiest of all of these to make. I am going to take these little die cut pieces. They are little jack-o'-lanterns, and I don't know if these were like table confetti or little confettis, but they came in their own little packaging. I've had these also for many years. But if you want to make a super easy little bunting banner, use die cuts that you already have. So I am going to take 4 of these glittered little pumpkins, and I'm basically going to do the same thing. There is no punching, there is no fussy cutting. These are ready to be used, and they don't even have a word, so you don't have to worry about making sure that you reverse the spelling. The easiest of all of the little banners. I am out of the orange baker's twine, but I have this green one. Super, super easy. There are no excuses. So this one is the easiest of them all. And I'm going to place the baker's twine just like I have with the others. I'm going to take my little squares, my little glue squares. I should have probably trimmed these glue squares just a tiny bit. They're a little bit longer than the pumpkin, but that's okay. I'll go back and I'll trim the excess off in just a moment. And this little pumpkin is going to look just as cute as all the others. So just because you're not doing all of that other fussy work or spelling out or even using multiple layers, it doesn't make this one any less cute. It is equally cute. And I could have used, like the matte pumpkin along with the glitter pumpkin. So many different ideas. Combined the two for the little banner, but I really love the way the glittered ones look. And see how the sticker is a little bit too long, so I'm just going to trim a little bit off the top. Not a big deal. I didn't think about doing that beforehand. But super, super cute. Oh my gosh, I love these so much. And I'm going to continue to make several more, especially because I have all of my supplies out right now. Oh my gosh, I also want to mention I will be collaborating with Kia Creates, at Kia Creates. She is doing a Halloween junk journal challenge. She reached out to me and asked if I would work on one of the challenge days. So I will have my Halloween Junk Journal Challenge coming up on October 19th. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe because that will be so much fun. If you want more information about the, Kia Creates Halloween Junk Journal Challenge, hop on over to her YouTube channel. It is at Kia, K-I-A, Creates, C-R-E-A-T-E-S, at Kia Creates. She's got so much more information, but please subscribe so that you can see my upcoming challenge video on October 19th. I am looking forward to that, and the theme of my challenge is cats and bats. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait for you to see that. Okay, so I mentioned how I was going to show you how I store my little sticker banners. I save all of the sticker release papers. I work with a lot of stickers, and the backing, like these white sticker release sheets, I save these. I save them because I've just started making my own DIY stickers, but how perfect it is to store these little banners all on one sheet. That way they're not all wiggly and all over the place. This will keep them stored just like the ones I bought at the store. If you do not have sticker release paper, you can also use parchment paper. Not wax paper, but use parchment paper, and it works very similar to the sticker release paper. So I'm just peeling the back of my little square glue dots or glue squares. And this will keep them all together, easy to find, easy to see on these sticker release sheets. Ready to go. Look at that. Aren't those so stinking cute now that you see them all like this? They almost don't look like I DIY'd them. They almost look like I bought them. So stinking cute. So cute. I think this has been one of the funnest projects I have made. in a while outside of my little house envelope pockets. I really like how these turned out. I grabbed a second sticker release sheet and I will add the remaining banners onto here. So stinking cute. This one was a little bit tricky to handle. I don't know if it's because they are round and they kept wanting to flip on me. But once you position them on these sticker release sheets, they stay in place and they're much easier to handle. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you taking the time to spend nearly an hour with me as I show you how to make these DIY Halloween bunting banners. I think they turned out so cute. Let me know what you think in the description area. And don't forget to subscribe if you are not subscribed to my channel. This is the type of content that I create and I would love to have you here. And then if you can also like and share my video with your family and friends, that would be amazing. I know this was somewhat of a longer video, so I do appreciate you taking the time to that you've spent with me. I appreciate that so much, more than you know. Look at how cute those little jack-o'-lanterns look. Oh my gosh, so cute. I do have a slideshow for you here at the end so that you can see how I use these on the Little House envelope pockets. And don't forget, open up the description area below and that will take you to all of the relevant videos that I have mentioned here today. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here and I will see you next time. Bye.